Welcome back to Booze Bros and Cars, your favorite podcast about booze and cars. And tonight, it's just going to be myself and Mike here on the podcast. Nick had a couple things kind of come up with his family. Nothing bad, just kind of like stuff that they're doing because of the holiday season. And same
Holiday
thing with
stuff.
Carmelo. Yeah, yeah. This is the time of the year where
Sure is.
just a lot of things are just kind of coming about, like just
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you have New Year's. So crazy time of the year. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump into what we love to do, which is drink alcoholic beverages, I should say. Yeah. So have a couple of beers here, actually from North Carolina, because I was just up there. As you guys saw, I posted um, a vlog, I guess you could say. Horrible job done on my end because I've never vlogged anything before. So, you know, it'll get
Well,
better.
no, you've never blogged anything prior to that time. So, see, now you can't say that. You've done it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just get
That's
better
true.
on the next one.
Exactly. So, anyways, so this is from Brevard Brewing Company. It's their IPA. Brevard Brewing Company, they have some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm actually pretty interested into trying this one. Have not tried their IPA as of yet, but I'm interested to try that out. Um, so I do have another one, which is this one. I'm actually really excited to get this one. I'm hoping I can tap into this one, but this is the Pisca Brewing Company. It's called Chocolatized. So it is a Russian Imperial Stout. On the description on here, it actually says that it was it just kind of aged in raw cocoa nibs. So I'm really excited to try that because it's like 11.5 ABV. So that's a little boozy. So I'm kind of excited to try that one. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Sounds really good.
yeah. And I have an interesting story to tell you about that one because anyways, Mike, what do you got
Nice.
going on?
So, I got a couple things tonight. My family, we just got back ourselves not that long ago, about an hour and a half ago, from doing holiday things as well, going to see Santa
Nice.
Claus, that kind of shenanigans. But time for beer. First one, Eric knows this one pretty well. So this is Big Top Brewing Company, Hawaiian Lion.
So good.
Um, this is a coffee coconut porter. Big Top is from Sarasota, so about an hour 15 minutes from where we're located in Southwest Florida. Yeah,
Yes.
this is their coffee coconut porter. It's actually brewed with local coffee, like local in Sarasota. There's like a local roaster up there. It's phenomenal beer. It's delicious.
Oh
And then
yes.
my number two is another one of our fan favorites from Corporate Ladder. This is their paperweight Pilsner.
Ooh.
That's hopefully our viewers by now know that I'm a Pilsner lager guy. I do like smoothie stuff and stouts and dark beer, but I feel like I'm the only one on here that pays a true testament to like Pilsner beers.
You know
But this
what's
is the what?
you know what's really funny, dude? I don't know why, but ever since we've been doing the podcast, I've only been drinking. I'm sure you've noticed. I've only been drinking sours
Yeah, I know.
and smoothie beers. And dude, I'm not a huge fan of sour beers, but
Yeah,
Corporate Ladder kind of got me into them. I we kind of talked about it. We shouldn't even classify the smoothie beers as a
no.
sour. It should kind of be classified as something else. But
So on that note,
yeah,
and I'll let you dive into your North Carolina trip here, because I definitely am interested on some of the breweries you went to and kind of what you saw.
yeah,
But on that note of sours, you and Carmelo both drink quite a few sours on our channel. Um,
yeah.
what I have noticed is that they're usually smoothies. They usually have a bunch of adjunct, a bunch of fruit added to it. Have you, when you were in North Carolina, did you get to go to the Funkatorium? Or not? Yeah, Funkatorium.
So first off, thank you for organizing the whole thing with Wicked Weed.
Oh, you're
That
welcome.
was that was an awesome experience. So
Was
I
it
actually,
awesome?
you had one of these. Hold on, let me grab this real quick. You had one of these guys,
Yep, I
right?
did a
And it
couple
was
weeks
it was
ago.
like a yeah, it was like a week before I went
Yep.
to North Carolina. So I tried that. So let me stop for a second. So apparently, Wicked Weed has 4 locations
Yeah.
at North Carolina. So they have the Wicked Weed Brew Pub, which is the one that I had the tour at.
Hmm.
They have Funkatorium, which is 10 minutes away. They
That's all
have
sours there too. Funkatorium.
yes, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't get to go to the Funkatorium. I was literally
Ah.
right next to it because I was at Burial Brewing
Okay.
Company
Yep.
or Burial Beer
Burial.
Company. Yeah. They have Wicked Weed West, which apparently I think they said that they don't have a tap room there. If they do, it's a small one, but they mostly brew beer there. And just outside of Asheville, they have a small, very very small town called Arden. My sister actually has a home there. They have a location there, which is I thought was really
Like,
interesting. Yeah, it's called Funk House. So they have 4 locations.
it's cool.
I only went to one though, which is the the Wicked Weed Brew Pub.
Yeah.
So I tried one of these, the milk and
Milk
cookies
and
stout.
cookies.
Bro,
It's
let me
so good,
tell
right?
you something. So in the can, it's good.
On
At
Drafto.
on draft, oh my god, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It is like so the milk and cookies stout, it's like up here. On draft, it's like on a whole other level because so I found out that during the brew process, like when they're done brewing the beer, they transfer it from that last container, which is where they pump it with CO2. They
Mhm.
transfer it to like this mini silo that is pretty much a keg.
Yep.
From there, it goes into a glass.
Yep.
So it is fresh, fresh beer, and oh my god, bro, it was
It's so what you're
the
so what you're talking about is the bright tank is where it gets carbonation in the process of
yes,
brewing, and then when they
yeah,
transfer that, they call it a serving vessel or a serving tank. And a lot of
yeah,
times, rather than taking the beer and putting it into a keg and then tapping the
hmm
keg, it's like a whole extra step. They put it in the serving vessel, and then basically the beer line runs straight from that to the wall where the tap
yep,
is. That's where the beer comes out. So yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty good, man.
dude,
That's
it
awesome.
was
I'm glad you had fun.
phenomenal. Dude,
Good.
it was such a good time, and it was really
I,
good.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really jealous too, because
Oh
as you know,
man,
my wife and I, it wasn't last year, it was the year, maybe it was last year. Either way, about a year ago, we were supposed to go up right around Christmas, just the
yeah.
two of us, and a whole family got the flu, so
Oh yeah, yeah,
had to
yeah.
cancel the whole trip. But we were gonna do the whole tour of Funky Buddha and do all the things, but just live vicariously
Yeah.
through you. So
Dude, it man, I've said it before and even on the vlog that I did, which I'll link that video on the description below if you guys have not seen it yet, but we need to make a trip up there, dude.
we
Like
do.
legit. There's so many breweries that we can go to. Like I did obviously Wicked Weed, Brew Pub. I did Burial, as I mentioned, which they're the beers that Nick mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, the last podcast or the podcast before, that the Imperial Stout that he had was like one of the best ones that he's ever tried. So I had a couple beers from them. One of them was so happened to have been a sour, which is really good. It was very, very tart, but not in a bad way. It was a very good tart. And I also had another beer. I think it was called Griddle. I think it was called Griddle, which apparently it's like a coffee stout. Bro, it tasted like an ice sweet, like a sweet iced coffee. It
Ooh,
was so freaking delicious. Oh my god, dude, it was phenomenal.
sounds awesome.
And I brought 3 bottles
Nice.
from Bureau back home, so I have 5 in total.
That's awesome.
Well, I sent you the picture, dude. I came back with so much beer. It's
Yeah,
not
you
even
did.
funny.
Yeah, you loaded up. It's awesome.
Yeah, I went to a cidery or a cider and mead place at this place called Black Mountain. So it's Black Mountain Cider Works, and they make
Nice.
cider and meads. I tried like a flight. Their flight was pretty large. It was like 6 or 8 flights or something, or 6 or 8 like 2 or 4 ounce pours. They were pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. I got a glass from them because they didn't have anything canned because it's a very very tiny place. Uh, and Pisco Brewing Company. We went there by mistake. So we went to go visit the Black Mountain Cider Works. Right behind it is Pisca. So we're here waiting for Black Mountain Cider Works to open, and we're like seeing this backyard area which has like this massive stage, and then they had a food truck on one side, and then next to the food truck there was like a tent with like a van right behind it, and I really didn't take a good look, and I just glanced over and I was like, well, it's kind of like a weird setup to have like a van with like a tent, and
A
then
little
you have
shady.
like, yeah, and I was like, oh, it's probably just like a vendor just like selling some stuff.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it ended up being Pisco Brewing Company. So I went there. I had one beer because I was going to drink more at Black Mountain Cider Works, or I had already planned out. And then I saw this guy, the chocolatized. So I saw it and I was like, man, I got to try that. So I bought it, brought it back.
Nice.
What other brewery did I go to? Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I know there was a few other ones that I went to. Um, Anyways, dude, like Asheville, there's just Asheville, Hendersonville. Oh yeah, it's a great area, but dude,
So
there's so many breweries there.
next time you go, maybe I would love to get up there as well. But next time you go, keep in mind if I didn't know you were that big of a cider guy. Um,
Hmm.
I know some people at Bold Rock Cider up there as well.
Yeah,
Um, they've got a couple locations. They didn't start in North Carolina, but they had a location. I think it's in Mills River, which
yeah,
is south of Asheville, I believe. But
it's right next to Hendersonville, and funny enough, my sister lives like less than 10 minutes away
oh,
from
that's
Mills
awesome.
River. Yeah, so
That's
I
funny.
actually went to Mills River.
That's awesome. Okay,
Mhm.
well, next time you go, then if your sister's that close, then I got some people at Bull Rock too, so can hit up Bull
Nice.
Rock Cider. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there
cider's
I
good.
went there, and yeah, dude, their cider is phenomenal. I had a pineapple one, a blueberry one. They had an imperial one, which is really, really
Hmm.
delicious. And I can't remember what was the last one that I tried.
Did
I
you
know it
try
was
any of their mead?
sour. No, they didn't have any meat on tap.
Ah,
Hmm.
right. That's a bummer.
Yeah, and I
That's
went
a bummer.
to, let me think. I went to Sierra Nevada again, dude. Sierra Nevada, I love that facility. It
It's
pretty
a big city.
much, dude. Yeah, I mean, I showed you pictures of the
Mhm.
front, and I've never been able to really show you pictures of the back because it kind of it. I don't want to like show you pictures of the back, and it doesn't do the brewery justice. But holy shit, that brewery is super cool. Actually, if we actually do end up making it up there as like a group, because I would like to make it up there so that we can hit up the Tail of the Dragon. And there's a few other driving roads that we can take or drive on that are really, really fun. But they have a tour at Sierra Nevada that you can do. It used to be free when they first opened up, and I think now it's like $9 or $10 for the
It's
tour.
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like a 45 minute to an hour tour, and when you're done with the tour, you actually get to sample some of their beers. Um, but dude, it's a freaking amazing place. It's phenomenal. And then I went to the last brewery that I went to was it's called Burning Blush. So it kind of has like a rustic Renaissance style like interior. It's pretty dope. Love that place. It's super freaking cool. But
That's cool.
yeah, it was just
Nice.
awesome. I had a great time, man. But yeah,
Speaking of
that's
driving roads, how was your experience on Tail of the Dragon now? I mean, you've done it a couple times.
this would have been the second time, yeah. And it's the road itself in general is really, really fun. I got to enjoy another road, excuse me, a little bit better, which is State Road or County Road 28 up in Robbinsville area, which is where the Tail of the Dragon is. County Road 28, dude, it was really fun. Um, I kind of enjoyed that one just as much as I did the Tail of the Dragon. My only problem that I had at the Tail of the Dragon was that my oil temperature shot up higher than
Really?
I've ever seen it. Yeah, it got bad. So there's in-car footage of me driving the my Corvette, and it just so happens that in my heads-up display, so I can do three modes. So I can do oil pressure, oil temperature, and then coolant temp. And I always have it set to oil temp. And when I was like almost halfway through the Dragon, I look and I see it pinned way up. So I go to like my dash and I go to oil temp and it says 255 degrees. And I was like, holy shit, this is usually, yeah, I'm like, this is usually right around like 230 when I'm driving it hard, like on the autocross. Um, and this is higher. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm in a cooler state. There's no reason for it to actually be this high. So I finished the Dragon. I'm chilling out, letting the car cool down. And I'm doing the Dragon the other direction. And it got up to that temperature again. I'm like, what the hell? And it even got up a little bit higher. I think it got up to like 259 degrees or so. And I park it and I pop the hood and I see why. And I'm really, really stupid for not doing this, but I didn't bring any tools, even though I told myself maybe I should bring like some tools. Dude, my intake and my radiator, I'm not lying to you. I could write a book with how much leaves were stuck between the radiator, the intake, and stuck inside my radiator shroud.
No
It
kidding.
was, yeah, it was bad. So I have to remember next time just to honestly, all I need is just it's a flathead screwdriver. I just take off
Yeah.
my intake, take off all the leaves, install the intake back in, send it. That's all I really had to do.
So what was your coolant temperature looking like?
The
I would have
coolant,
thought
weirdly enough,
that
the
would have been
coolant wasn't.
shooting up too.
Oh no,
Well,
because the
do
coolant wasn't that
do you have
bad
a
because it
so
was still
does the Corvette have external oil cooler on it?
no, no. Mine is not a Z51 package. If it
Okay.
wasn't, it'll
Me neither,
have an
yeah.
external oil cooler,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow, that's
lesson
wild.
learned. I've got to do I've got to think about some other modifications that I did not think of. One of them actually is an oil cooler.
Yeah. I
um
mean,
yeah,
it'll keep those temps down for sure. But then
yeah,
again, if it was packed up with leaves and you weren't getting the airflow, then not surprised either way. You just had the car
yeah,
serviced though, right? Before you went up there, like oil change, tire
yeah.
rotation, all that. Like,
Not a tire rotation, just an oil change, and they just like topped off fluids and just checked the levels and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, the car was fine. The only thing that I
Hmm.
never thought about was the freaking radiator being covered with
How
leaves and blocking
how
airflow.
how are your brakes on tail?
The brakes are
Like,
fine.
do you notice any brake fade? Because you still have the factory brake lines, right?
No, well, brake lines, yeah, but I mean, mine's a 2006. They should be fine.
Yeah.
I think newer brake lines, they're better than older ones. Instead of it just being kind of like just rubber and they kind of deteriorate. Um, I know that newer ones they do have. I think they have like metal mesh inside of them, so they're a little bit stronger. It's not
So
like
it's not like
steel
a
braided
full.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, for anybody that's watching this, if I'm incorrect on that, correct me in the description below. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard recently, so that's why
Hmm.
I'm not really too like concerned about getting steel braided brake lines is because newer brake lines are they're enough, right? And but I did put hawk pads on the Corvette all the way around on all four corners, and the car braked just fine. I mean, the brakes
That's
were decently aggressive. The one thing to just remember when you're on the Dragon, you are going downhill and
yeah.
uphill. So when you're going downhill, don't sit on your brake. It's the worst thing you can do because you don't want to overheat your brake pads or your rotors.
That's why you got a manual downshift.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can, but to be honest, I didn't even get out of. I may have gotten into fourth gear because I was short shifting, but really, I would probably be
Second and third the whole time.
mid
Like
third
third.
gear. Yeah, mid third gear the whole time. Actually,
Well,
probably
you
even
got. I mean,
high end like third.
Corvettes have some pretty long gearing, so
They do. They do. That freaking long ass final drive.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
against it. It's
Well,
it's
it
good.
also the car also revs pretty high, so it's and it's naturally aspirated. It's not like you're fighting, not like you're fighting a
Yeah.
turbo. You know what I mean? Where you need shorter gearing so that you're in a power band. Like your power band is pretty much the whole time. So
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad, but I mean, I still had a lot of fun. Uh, considering the fact that I was fighting oil temperature issues, but
yeah, that's wild, man. That's
yeah,
I would not have expected that. Well, at least you figured out what
yeah,
it was. You know,
yeah,
instead of just having a head scratcher and driving home worried
yeah.
about it.
Well,
So
and it's funny too because before I drove up, my biggest concern was my clutch is gonna burn out because it slipped a few times when we were at Bradenton, and once when I was driving into the streets. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's like, if you smell like burnt newspaper or burnt paper, that's usually the smell of a burning clutch. As soon as I got to the tail of the dragon, which I actually parked it at the Killboy uh I guess souvenir shop, the one that has that massive metal dragon in the front that everybody takes pictures
yeah,
of.
yep.
So I parked it next to that dragon, and I got out of the car and I smelled something burning, and I'm like, oh man, like that's there smell like my clutch is getting screwed, and I'm gonna be. Oh, that's really funny. But I can, yeah, that's really funny. But anyway, I can smell like something burning, and I was like, well, there
Yeah,
goes my clutch, right? Well, no. Now thinking about it, it wasn't my clutch. It was the leaves that were burning that were stuck on the radiator.
that makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, because
yeah,
I can imagine with all that just getting hot, like sitting next to your radiator, it was probably already
yeah.
hot. Yeah,
Leaves on metal. It's gonna
yeah,
burn.
for sure,
So
man. Well, that's wild. That's I mean, at least like I said, at least you figured out what the problem was and was able to correct it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Lesson learned. Now I know for when we do go to the dragon, just to bring a small tool bag, and it
Yeah,
should be fine.
for sure,
We'll be good.
for sure. Luckily, you pack pretty light. Like I don't even know what we would bring up there. Like if I were to drive, like currently, it would have to be probably the Elantra. I wouldn't want to bring an SUV, but
Yeah.
it would all depend on like, do we have the kids? Do we not have the kids?
Mm.
Is it just me? Is it me and the wife? Like how that would
Yeah. Well, I
transpire?
mean, if you are gonna go, I mean, North Carolina, especially the Asheville area, everything in regards to breweries, restaurants, and even bars, they're very, very much kid friendly. So you could bring kids in there; they really don't care because they know that you know adults. Some of them are gonna have kids, so they are very kid friendly. So you probably won't have to worry about them. Like if you did take them, you shouldn't have any issues. But if you're gonna go to the dragon, probably not gonna want to take the wife or the kids because they're not gonna enjoy that aggressive driving.
No, not at all. It
Yeah.
would just be getting them thing, and then they can go do something else. Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
type thing. But um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I keep thinking about like my car situation as well. Like I'm glad I kept my Elantra Sport. It's slow,
Mm,
but it gets 30 miles to the gallon, and now I'm driving a lot for work. I'm using my personal
yeah.
car, so I'm glad that that is still in my stable, just because I'm using that now. But
Yeah.
gotta get the Miata fixed sometime, like in the next couple of months. I gotta get the AC working on that thing so I can sell it.
Yeah.
Um, if anybody's listening or watching, you want a really mint Miata that's gonna have a brand new AC in it, call your boy. Let me know. I got one
Yeah.
for you. But I don't know. I
Put it
just
in the
keep thinking,
description below that you're interested,
yeah,
and we'll give you
yeah.
the details.
After you like and share and subscribe, that would be great.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yes, I just keep going back and forth on what I want to do after that. Like, I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to get something fun, but I don't know what direction to go. I
Mm,
keep thinking I definitely want something with a V8 before they're just gone forever. You know what I mean? And if it's going to be a fun car, I keep leaning towards a Corvette, but at the same
hmm.
time, if I could find something with a back seat, um, I, so my buddy Greg that you met up at Bradenton, the one with the BMW
Yeah.
X3M, he like keeps sharing stuff to me like over the last I don't know year. He's just like when he's on Facebook Marketplace or something, he'll just send me links all the time for stuff. And like one that he keeps sending me and keeps sending me, and I've kind of looked at him a little bit more. Is do you know anything about the Chevy Caprice PPV?
No.
Um, Carmelo probably would. So
Mm,
Chevy basically made a police variant of the Caprice for like a limited time in I think it was like 2012 maybe to 2014 somewhere in there somewhere in
yeah,
that time frame.
that's isn't that the front wheel drive LS powered car?
Nope, it's rear wheel drive.
Is it
it's got
really?
it's got an L, so it is an LS, but it's an L77. So it's the
Hmm.
aluminum block, but it's 355 horsepower, automatic, rear wheel drive, and it's usually the interior is basic. Either vinyl seats or like you can find the cloth seats. But a lot of times the dashboard or the center console has been like kind of gutted because they mount the computer and like all the
Oh yeah.
all the police stuff in there. But every once in a while you'll find one with a spotlight on the driver's side. But um, I don't know. They're like so cheap. They're like you could get
Hmm.
them for like 12 grand, and they usually have quite a bit of miles on them. But I was
Mm.
watching a video about it, and a lot of them are like a lot of them just spend most of their life idling because a lot of times this particular car was either used for like undercover or used
Mm.
um, by off like deputies or not deputies, sergeants and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but they wanted a stealthy looking but also fast sedan. A lot of them didn't even have a
Hmm.
cage or anything in it, so it was just a V8 sedan that was unmarked.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
they're so cheap. But I look at them and I'm like, God, it's so ugly. Like it's just looks like a crappy Chevy sedan.
Yeah, I mean, it'll
I
be a
don't
good
know.
sleeper car, and I mean, like we like sleeper cars. They are very, very underestimated. So,
I feel like it would be a lot of fun, and it's
hmm.
big. It's probably semi comfortable on the inside. I mean, it would have lots of room, so I could take the family. I
Yeah.
The only problem is it's based off a Holden, and the issue I guess that most people have when they buy a the Caprice PPV is getting
Hmm.
parts. So a lot of times they have to use it's mostly Australian, so you have to like buy parts online and get them imported essentially. So
Gotcha.
I don't know. Kind of cool though. Probably won't happen just because I don't like the way they look. I don't know. I'd be happy with it. I've also been
Yeah,
looking
I
at Chevy
mean,
SSs, which are basically the better looking version with more horsepower, but
Chevy SSs are so pretty, man, and
they're just so expensive, man.
they have what LS? Do they have LS3s?
It's
Because
the
it's a six
LS3.
three. It's a six
Mm-hmm.
two, right? That's in there. Yeah,
Yep.
those are pretty dope.
They are. And if you can find a manual, which is like a unicorn, but they're
Yeah.
also like anywhere from 42 to 50 grand, depending on the mileage and the condition of them. It's just that's a lot of money for a car that's probably 10 years old now.
Are they still
No,
that price? I mean, I was kind of hoping that they would come down a little bit.
no, they're still up there. I found a couple
Ugh.
that are under 40 grand, like in the high 30s, but they're they're all kind of in that 42 to 48,000 range. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
We'll see. First things first, just need to get rid of the old Miata
Hmm.
so I can move on to faster toys.
I mean, technically, there's probably a two-door LS powered car that you can probably get.
Camaro. Or are you
No,
talking about a Corvette?
no. that has a back seat. That's not a Camaro.
Two-door LS powered car
Mm-hmm.
with a back seat.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big ass car.
I'm drawing a blank. What are you
The
talking about?
the GTO,
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't. Once again, man,
dude.
they're kind of pricey for what you get though.
Dude, I found one with low mileage
No,
that was
that's
not
not
that
helpful.
far away from me. That was like I think 15 grand, and it was
Was
low
it a
mileage.
manual?
Yeah.
And a manual?
And here's the thing about the GTO. So they obviously come with LS1s, but there's badging that tells you which LS1 is in the car because the LS1 is two motors. It's the 5.3 and the 5.7. So if you got the 5.3, it's like 300 horsepower. If you got the 5.7, it's like 400 or 350, something like that.
I wonder what year they started putting the 5.7 in them. Because what is that? LS1?
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
LS1.
our it's early 2000s, so it's right around the same time that the C5 was being made.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking
But
online now, and like they're anywhere from 10 to 20.
mm-hmm.
So, hmm,
And it
another
has a back
contender
seat,
enters the chat.
and it has a back seat.
It does have a back seat. Yeah,
And dude, those if you get a 5.7, I mean, you have the horsepower that you're looking for, which is like right around
yeah,
350, I think,
yeah.
dude.
Well,
And
and
the
it's an
GT,
LS. You can do so much to that. I mean, throw a
yeah,
choppy cam in it, and you're good.
oh yeah. And here's the thing, I am a huge fan of the GTOs. Like,
All
it's
right.
probably by far one of my favorite American built vehicles. Like, look wise, it's great. Aside from Corvettes and the Camaros, and obviously Mustangs, because
You know
Mustangs
what it
do
kind
look
of
good.
reminds me of
GTO
is
is
it,
up there.
it's basically I can't even say modern because it's not modern anymore, but it was the modern equivalent of the Firebird
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Firebird and the Camaro. I mean, essentially, kind of was. It kind of
yeah.
replaced the Firebird in some aspect. I'm gonna have to think about that because I wasn't really thinking about GTOs, but if I could find one that was a manual,
Mm-hmm.
that might
And
work.
the one that I found that I was gonna buy, I don't remember. I don't know if you remember this, but it was right before I bought my Corvette. But I found a red one, and that red is
Oh yeah,
nice.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like 15 or 17 grand,
Yeah, there's
and it
there's a
had a
lot,
and
man.
it had a 5.7.
See, the problem is like they're all over 100 something, 100 plus thousand miles.
The one
I
that
mean,
I found,
well,
I want to say was like 50 or 60,000 miles, so it
so
was lower than that.
if we're talking GTO, then you got the G8 as well. But those aren't.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think those were available in a manual.
they were.
Was it?
If it's a GT or a GXP, they came manual. They
See, I
had
didn't know
manual
that.
options. Yeah, and actually, speaking of which, I actually saw one when I was up in North Carolina, and
A
I ran
G8.
into. Yeah, it was a G8 GT, and it was like a maroon color, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty dope looking G8. And I'm walking because I was walking to the gas station because I was gonna buy like a bottle of water or soda or something. And I turn around and I look at it, and it had a sticker that kind of threw me off. That it had like the thumbs up, and then it said, "Your boyfriend liked this," and I was like, "What?" Dude, it was a tiny, tiny, tiny freaking white girl that was driving it. She was like in her early 20s, and I'm like,
That's cool.
why you're driving a GTO? Like, it looks like you should be driving like a freaking Corolla or like or something else. But no, she was driving a freaking GA GT, and I was surprised. I like the car. I was like, it's a dope looking car. She's like, oh, thanks. And I was like, I was like, what does that have, a 5.7? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I have like a Corvette because I was with my sister, and we were in her car. And I was like, yeah, like I have an LS. Yeah, I told her, I was like, yeah, I have a Corvette with an LS in it. And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah. Dude, she turned it on. Nastiest cam chop. And
What?
I was like, what the hell? I was
Tell
like,
me you
bro,
got
this
that
little.
number, bro. Tell me you got that
Nah,
that digit.
nah, nah.
Come on, man. Could have taken her on the Wicked Weed tour.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anyways, whatever. She probably wasn't even old enough to drink, dude. She looked like she was 20.
Oh my god. Well, golly, now
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board again, man. I'm gonna have to look at G8s and GTOs
dude,
because
I'm telling you,
I
dude.
actually like a
G,
G8. Who was it? We
yeah,
had a somebody in our Speed 3 group. It was Derek. Remember Derek? He had a Speed
yeah.
3, and then he
He's
got the
got a Skyline
Evo.
now.
Well, he's got the Skyline. Yep,
Yeah, he's got a
R33, I think.
R33. Yeah,
Um, a buddy of his, because they were at Mini, I think. Because I
yeah.
almost got a job at Mini. One of the service advisors at Mini had a pretty nasty G8 here locally. I think it had a cam in it. It was pretty
It was a
quick.
Hispanic dude, right?
Yeah, tall
Yeah,
Hispanic.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
remember that. Yeah,
I
it
can't
was a
remember the
black one,
guy's
I
name.
think.
I think it was black or gray, one or the
Yeah,
other. But yeah, that thing
yeah.
was pretty nasty. Oh God, what was that guy's name? I can't remember his name. But yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that again because
Yeah.
those can't be bad. I mean, G8s can't be all that expensive either. So
Mm-mm.
that could be fun. I could throw the kids in the back of that,
Yeah.
take a dog across, lower it, put it
Oh
on
yeah.
wheels.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, hell, I mean, you know me, I'm like the huge drifting fanatic of the crew, but
of course.
people drift G8s and GTOs.
You know what's funny though?
I actually would not mind getting a GTO and just sliding the living hell out of it. It
It'd be
just
fun.
looks so badass drifting. I'm not gonna lie.
Um, it would be kind of a throwback for me too because I actually had a Firebird when I was younger. I had a Firebird in high school, and it had
hmm
I don't even know what engine code the VA was back then, but
Oh,
I mean
LQ something.
it wasn't very. I mean it wasn't. It was I could burn the tires off of it no problem. It wasn't. I wouldn't
hmm
say it was fast. It was probably too fast for
Yeah.
me at the time. I shouldn't have been in a car that fast, but it was fun. It was a good time.
Nice.
It was maroon. It had the T tops, like the removable glass T top on it,
Oh
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
awesome. It was so cool pulling those things off. It had like a golly. I'm gonna have to find some pictures. Maybe I'll find a picture. You can link it in the description of my
hmm
old Firebird. But it had like this
Yeah.
crazy looking body kit on it too. Like it had like some
hmm
sort of lower lip and side skirts. It was cool. I missed that car. That was fun. It was a fun car
Nice.
in high school. And then I want to get after that. My Nissan Maxima. Such a
Yeah.
such
I
a
was just
lame
gonna
trade
say
down.
you were talking shit to me about on one of the podcasts that I had a Maxima, and I completely forgot that you had one until
Yo,
like way after. I was like, what the hell?
I had like OG Maxima though, like the one.
Oh yeah.
So the first time I saw Fast and the Furious, though, I got really excited because
Oh yeah.
what was the guy's name? He
Oh
had a
Vince.
Maxima. Vince had
Vince.
the white one. And that thing
No, it was no, his was blue.
was it blue? No, it
Yeah.
was blue. It was blue.
Yeah.
You're
The
right.
white was the Jetta. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. It was blue. And I'm pretty sure that thing had a supercharger. Um, because
Yeah, maybe.
I looked way back in the day and they actually made a supercharger kit for that car.
hmm
Which I don't know, would have been fun. It was front wheel drive. Like it would have been
Yeah.
probably would have been quick, but automatic.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good times, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Pontiac. All right. Enters the chat.
Yeah, right. Um, let's do a quick beverage recap here on the beers that we're drinking. Um, let me start it off with the Brevard Brewing Company. Um, even though I drink a lot of sours, how we were kind of talking about earlier today, IPAs are probably by far one of my favorite style of beers.
You don't
I
ever
love
drink
them. They're really
IPAs on
good.
here.
I
You never
don't.
drink
I don't.
IPAs on here.
And I need to because I love IPA so much, which is a funny thing. And I was telling myself that I need to change the style of beer that I'm drinking because I still have a lot of corporate ladder beers. Oh my god, there goes the freaking thumbs up thing again. Jesus, I
That's
have a lot
awesome.
of Jesus, I have a lot of corporate ladder beers still
Yeah.
in my refrigerator, but yeah, IPAs are probably by far one of my favorite style on top of porters and stouts. I love porters and stouts. They're so good. Speaking of stouts, So the Pisca chocolatized Russian Imperial Stout, dude, it is phenomenal. It is so good. I'm so glad that I actually ended up buying this when I saw, or when I was at Pisca Brewing Company, just accidentally, like I said. It is super rich in chocolate. It pretty much tastes like, um, have you ever tried one of those like little chocolate candies that are infused with alcohol, but it's like they have like rum or something
Oh
inside of
yeah,
it.
they're like in the
Th-
center of them. I was like a
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yep.
That is exactly what that reminds me of.
Really
And holy shit, it is really good. I mean,
nice.
it tastes like dark chocolate with alcohol. That's exactly what it tastes like. So I am really, really enjoying this. It is really freaking good.
It sounds delicious. I haven't had anything like that in a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. Seems like most of the dessert beers and like sweet stuff I've been getting has been other things, you know.
I mean,
But
I don't know if you can classify this as a dessert beer. You definitely can because
yeah, I mean
of
it's a stout though. A
the
lot of
chocolate.
stouts are desserty,
Yeah,
so
but it is boozy, man. 11.5%. It is
yeah,
up there in ABV.
nice. Um, yeah, mine are good. Hawaiian Lion is obviously empty. Crush that thing. This beer is really good. A lot of people might know of Funky Buddha Last Snow. This is a very same exact beer style, so coffee coconut porter.
Yes.
This one I feel like has a little bit better of a coffee flavor. I don't know
Yes.
if that's because of the local roaster that they use in Sarasota, but the coffee flavor to me tastes a little bit better. It's just really, really smooth. It's a little bit, I don't want to say high ABV. I want to say 7.5,
Hmm. Yeah,
7.6,
it's like stuff. Yeah, it's like stuff
somewhere in
right around
there.
there.
7.5. So yeah, pretty close, but it's good. It's a great beer. Love that. Love Hawaiian Line. It's been around. I remember when it first came out, they started it as a seasonal, and like it did
Hmm.
really really well. So they just continued to brew it and just kept making the seasonal longer, and then eventually it just was like the whole year. All right, we're just brewing this full time now.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I actually tried Hawaiian Line was, I think it was at Sebring, and you
Probably when I
had
worked there.
brought. Yeah, and I want to say that you brought like a couple bottles. It was probably like our
Yep.
second or third year, and you brought a couple bottles, and I was like, "Yo, can I have one of these?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Just go ahead and crack it open." So it was a larger bottle, and I
Yeah,
cracked it open.
22 ounce.
Yeah, and I was like sipping on it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is really freaking good!" And I drank the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm hooked on this beer." Hawaiian Lion
Yeah.
is so delicious.
So when they first started, they did all their seasonals in like it's called a bomber, 22 ounce
Hmm.
bottle. It was that they did a raspberry lemonade sour that was really good.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
Ringmaster, I think was the name of that one.
Oh, you
Um,
have a very interesting story about Ringmaster, don't you?
about Ringmaster?
The logo.
Well, no, that's actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to that'll be for a future episode. I'll have to
Okay.
dig that
Okay.
picture out. Yeah, that was during my tenure with Big Top. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Oh, so well, the Ringmaster. Oh God, they would kill me right
It
now.
was
What's his name?
Ringmaster, right?
So, well, Ringmaster is one of the beers that has him on it, but it's Sir Wellington is the
Oh,
name
okay.
of the character that's like
Mhm.
on some of the cans.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna make a note of that. We'll do that if we'll
Okay.
throw some pictures up there so Carmelo and Nick can get a kick out of that one.
Yes.
But yeah. So anyway, my second beer, I just got into the paperweight pilsner. It's good. It's like super crispy. It's
Hmm.
nice and light, easy drinking. It's brewed with Hallertau Blanc and Saaz hops, which they're really good. They make a great pilsner. So it's got a little bit of that hop characteristic to it, but it's more of like a bite than it is like a bitterness.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
it's super good though. I love pilsners. I really do.
Mm.
As long as I've been drinking craft beer and like subjected to the industry, I've gone like full circle, like all the way back to just like drinking basic beer, I guess. That's the best
Mm-hmm.
beer flavored beer, if you will. But it's delicious. I'm enjoying
Oh
it.
yeah. Well, beer itself is just really freaking phenomenal. I mean, like we've been drinking craft beer since.
Long time.
I mean, yeah, a long time. I want to say that you and Nick have been drinking craft beer a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
You guys actually got me into craft beer. I think I mentioned during one of the podcasts that we used to go to Fort Myers Brewing Company all the time, and that's the brewery that got me into craft beer because we would go there like once or twice a month, and we just hung out there frequently. And then I just was not a fan of craft beer at first, and then one day I just showed up, ordered a beer, and I was like, "Wow, this is really freaking good." And
We
then
should
I
do
was
a
hooked ever
reunion
since.
tour. We should
We should,
all go hit that up one night. It's been a
yeah,
while.
for sure.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a
pretty
while.
close for the two of us, anyway. So
yeah, I mean, Nick isn't that far away from Fort Myers Brewing Company.
not really.
He's not. Yeah,
We drive to their
not
neck
too
of the
far.
woods all the time. They can come over to ours every once in a while.
Exactly.
They're not here,
Yeah.
so we can talk shit about them, right? I mean, that's how.
Oh
it
yeah.
works. So.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
They can come over to the bridge every once in a while.
But we do have to meet up one day because these beers right here. So we're gonna be drinking these in a later podcast. I have 6 cans here, 3
Nice.
of each different ones. But these, I'm gonna give a shout out to my buddy Chris that is in Jacksonville. He actually got those for us to try.
Oh, that's awesome.
So those are from what is the name of the brewery? It's called Veterans United Craft Brewery, which is in Jacksonville. Chris is actually a vet. He's with Chris. Don't hate me for this. I can't remember. I think he's with the Marines, the Navy. Chris is in the Navy, and I hate myself for getting that wrong. Sorry, bro.
Oh, dude, if you got that wrong, you're.
I know. I wouldn't say it's the Marines that he's with, or
Chris,
he was.
Thank you for your service, regardless of where it was.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I've known Chris way before I actually met you guys. I've known him since 2008. Yeah, 2008. Back when I had my Scion TC, and he had a Scion XP, so that was how I met him. He was at FGCU. He's from Jacksonville, like I said. He moved back there a few years ago. I obviously still talk to him. He's like a brother from another mother, to me, because we've always been friends.
Cool.
When during the summertime he would crash here at my house. Actually, the room that I'm in right now used to be his bedroom, which is my den, and now my podcast room. But yeah, he's a good dude. And he bottles those beers for us to enjoy and drink on the podcast. So
that's awesome.
I gotta give you guys those beers.
Yeah. I definitely have a stash of some things we need to dole out too. I've been saving a couple things that, I think the last time I went up to Corporate Ladder and you guys weren't up there, I think I got a dessert station for us all to try.
Oh, so. Yeah. It's I can't remember which one it was, but it
was one of the.
I forgot.
It wasn't pumpkin pie.
Was it a fruit bowl? Was it a fruit bowl one?
It could have been.
But there's also another pie beer. I think it was like an apple pie beer that you got for me.
That one.
Which
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Which I need to give you money for that one for.
Don't worry about it. We share beer enough. We'll be all right.
That's true.
We'll be all right.
Cool. Good enough.
I wish there were more, I don't know. Cool, we have some awesome breweries around us. We do. From Naples all the way up to Cape Coral. We've got some really cool spots.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at some point we should do a remote at one. That'd be kind of fun. Or do a live thing for Facebook or something. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, just do something cool like that. But I really wish we had a brewery that was really, really diving into imperial stouts or doing crazy sours or doing some of those really, really fun things. There are a couple Pony Bell's awesome.
Oh my god, yeah,
Jordan
Pointy
makes
Bell,
really, really good beer.
yeah.
He also does really good sours, but this is why I like him so much, is that his pilsners are phenomenal.
Hmm.
I would say between him and Scotty's Beer Works and Cape Coral, probably do the best pilsners and lagers in our area. Like hands
Hmm.
down, the two of them. But yeah, we should work on that. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, no, it
Leave a
definitely would
comment in
be.
leave a comment in the comment section down below if you want to see us do a remote at one of our local breweries down here in Southwest Florida. We'll
Yeah,
make it
no,
happen.
for sure. It'll be fun. I feel like that would actually be something that would be very awesome to do, and we can have like whoever head brewer or owner of the brewery actually be on as a guest and just talk about just beer talk.
Yeah.
And if they're into cars, even better, because we're booze bros and cars.
I think I know which one I want to ask, but it's going to require you guys to travel a little bit. But we'll
I'm down. I'm down.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah,
it out.
for sure. Hey, I mean, I did ask him just when I was there one day, but Brandon is up for having us there in person.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
That would be. I mean, he's got a perfect area for it. You know, that little
Oh, he
section in the back
does.
with the couch and everything. Like
Yeah.
it's already set up for exactly what it is that we're looking at doing. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm down.
I don't know. We got to figure out the whole logistical thing of doing in person or live podcast, but we'll figure it out and we'll get it done.
You know, I'm a trial by fire kind of guy, and I feel
Yeah.
like we should let's just do it one day. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
better way to figure out if we're doing it right than just doing it. I learned. I don't know. I'm one of those people that I learn better by screwing up. I think, like
Mm,
if that
I'm
makes
kind of the
sense.
same way. Yeah, I'm
Like if
kind
I
of the same
screw
way.
up, then I
So
know not doing that again. So I don't know.
yeah,
I'm thinking maybe we just wing it and see what happens. You know.
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. But yeah, we'll we'll figure things out and we'll figure everything out logistically and get it done. But anyways, that's all the time that we have here for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Excuse me. Don't forget to savor your brews and hit the road responsibly. Also, cheers to booze and cars. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. We have some pretty interesting stuff that we kind of want to do here for you guys for just improved and just a more additional content. But keep an eye on that in the very near future. Cheers to booze and cars again. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Cheers.